What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So today we are going to be having a look at the upcoming KIZUNA clash versus Buggy. Now this KIZUNA clash is going to be debuting in a couple days time, but I'm getting this video out a little bit earlier than usual just to make sure that everyone's ready to go. And obviously with most KIZUNA clashes you have three different variations here. We've got versus int, quick, and versus strength. Now the interesting thing about this particular KIZUNA clash is what we've seen is that typically when there is a KIZUNA clash, they give you a range of different units that are going to be boosted, where you can build a couple of different teams that are good on all the different typings, and you can build a decent team from that. However, in this KIZUNA clash, it's really annoying because a lot of the characters that are boosted are like on the int team only. It's really weird. So like there's not many good boosted units for versus strength or versus quick, so a lot of the damage outputs you're going to see versus these two teams are going to be a lot lower than what you see just versus int. Versus int is going to be the easiest in terms of amount of damage that you can get. So I would say that when you actually see your assist quests, you're going to see a majority of them being quick or strength ones. That's what I'm going to say anyway. And massive shout out to Pyro Man, who was the person who came up with the infographic, so we don't have to go check out Game With and translate everything. So I really hope that it's all correct, and let's get into it. So of course we're going to start off with the first one, which is versus int. Now versus int, you need to bring characters that are Free Spirit Fighter and Slasher, as those are the characters that get the 15 turn cooldown. Stage 2 is a mini boss Sabo with a 4 turn 12 hit combo barrier, and he does put up 4 turns of defense up as well. And on turn 2, now I don't know if that means that like after the first turn of attacks he puts up the orb bind, or it just means like if he isn't dead on the second turn then he's going to do the orb bind. I hope it's the latter because that makes it a lot easier. And then Buggy on the final stage has 2 characters that surround him, some mob characters, and he has defense down immunity, delay immunity, normal attacks only is inflicted, 5 turns of resilience is going to be there as well, and then your middle and bottom row are special reversed by 2 turns, and it gives you a full board of block orbs. So if you just have a look at like these bottom things here, and the fact that there's no full immunity, you can tell straight away that V3 Boa is going to be your ideal captain here. And then he does a lot of different things if you don't kill him, but he will fully heal if you health cut him. If you use an attack boost, he's going to clear all your buffs. Okay, there's a couple things we can talk about that. And then there is an additional mechanic at a set HP. So this means that, after you get to a certain level and the boss's health is like at a certain threshold, he's going to do an additional mechanic. And in this instance, he's going to give you 4 turns of ship bind. That sucks. That really does suck, and there's not really much you can do about that unless if you have a limit break ability that resists it. So as time goes on, this is going to be quite a difficult boss to take down. So let's talk about it. I have 2 different teams here. The first one is going to be a Mihawk and Perona and V3 Boa Hancock team. Now, look, a lot of these characters are fully interchangeable, but this is just kind of what I've been spitballing. Of course, V3 Boa is going to be your most ideal friend captain here. If you don't own V3 Boa yourself, you pretty much want to have her as a friend captain, because of course her special ability reduces all of your character's cooldowns, and because only your middle and bottom row get special reversed, when Boa is your captain, you can use her special to reverse the cooldowns of your characters in the bottom row. It makes perfect sense. And with her super type special, you can get your full board of Psy Orbs and get your attack boost, so you get rid of the block orbs that he gives you, and because it's a super type giving you the attack boost, you won't activate the interrupt to remove your beneficial effects. Just across the board, Boa V3 is going to be your best way forward. But then all your other ways of getting around the different debuffs here, the way that this team is going to be working is we are actually going to stall 1 turn with this team. So obviously Buggy has those 2 other mobs that surround him. You can use the V3 Boa Hancock special and inflict them with the love beam so they can't attack you. But if you do have a look here on the infographic, if you leave him alive after turn 1, he gives you 3 turns of attack down, which is quite bad, but this is why we have Stampede Sabo, because he removes attack down by 5 and then gives us a 1.75 color affinity. The Summer Pudding is actually a boosted unit for this event and can remove 4 turns of resilience, so it's 5 turns of resilience, but because we're stalling 1 turn it goes down to 4. This Robin is also a boosted unit in this KIZUNA. Is going to help very much with stage 2, because we can use the Robin special to remove this defense up and then just kill Sabo very easily. And then we've also got Law, who's going to be a fantastic unit to give us the chain base effect and also the orb boost. But remember that when you are using his special, it is actually really good to make sure that this is set to Mihawk, because then he's both a cerebral and a slasher, so you can get all of the effects of the Law special. And then you can go ahead and switch this guy into Perona and then fuse it into the dual unit Mihawk and Perona to get the most out of that. And of course, you want to use the special ability to get the conditional boost because you can just proc that. So you get the conditional boost, we get the attack boost from the super type special when we need it. We also have the orb boost, we have the color affinity, we have the ability to remove resilience. And with all that, 195 million. And remember, this is not including the boosted damage from the KIZUNA Clash itself. And I mean, you could use the Liberal Hind as well, which will give you even more damage. So just across the board, this is going to be a pretty good team, I think. And then this is another team that I was thinking about as well, utilizing Goldie Roger. Now you can see right here, 368 million is quite impressive. Though with this team, it's very finicky. I have a couple of key supports on this team, and we'll just talk about that real quick. Number one, V3 Boa Hancock. I actually want to use her as a support on this team, as well as the VV support, as well as Onami. So we're going to use Onami on Sanji Judge, and I want to use his special ability on stage 2 to remove the defense using the support effect of Nami for 2-turn 100% defense reduction. And then by stalling 1 turn on that stage, we can ensure that we have the switch effect still active on the final stage. And then when we reach the final stage, the healing supports of V3 Boa and also the VV. Hopefully, the way that I think it should work is that the healing will make the Boa Hancock captain effect be up to the 5x boost with the Liberal Hind ship, but I'm not too sure if the healing from the support effects counts as like that turn or like the previous turn. I'm pretty sure, I hope it works. If not, it doesn't really matter. You're still going to get a pretty good damage multiplier anyway, even if like there's a little lower than expected. It's still going to be a lot of damage, right? So don't really have to worry too much. This Roger is going to be great, of course, because whenever you use his special ability for his insane attack boost, he can resist 1 turn of the enemies, removing your beneficial effects. So that's pretty awesome, of course. We've got Law for his boosts, we've got Rayleigh for color affinity, and because of the resilience buff, we can actually go ahead and use Gangsta Gastino to poison the enemies, as well as give us the conditional boost against them. So it just helps you, get around the resilience buff innately, and then also get some free damage out of it. So across the board here, switch effect for the chain boost, base chain from Law, color affinity, attack boost, orb boost, everything here is just amazing. So we'll see how this one goes. This one, I'm not really too sure if it's going to work effectively enough, but I'm really excited to try it out. I definitely want to give it a go. So those are all the teams, just some team compositions I have for you guys for the versus int variation. So looking at the next boss is versus Quick. On stage 1, you want to be building a team of Strength, Dex, and Psi characters. They get the 15-turn charge time. Stage 2 is a mini-boss Jinbei who has a 2-hit perfect barrier, and he has 4 turns of damage threshold, and he's going to change all of your orbs into this combination here. So your captains get Dex, and then it goes Int, Strength, Quick, and Psi. So those are the orb combinations that will be on your team in that exact order, and then your captains will get their slots binded in a barrier, so you have to hit a perfect to get rid of that barrier. So that is kind of annoying, but depending on your team composition, you can really abuse that. And after 1 turn, you get 4 turns of increased damage taken, which doesn't matter too much. And Buggy, of course, is quick. He has full immunity, normal attacks only is inflicted, 5 turns of special bind is also inflicted to your team, and you get 4 turns of chain coefficient reduction, which doesn't matter too much. So basically, you want to bring a chain locker instead of just removing that, so that's not too bad. He fully heals if you health cut him, and add an additional mechanic later on, he's going to make all type slots count as badly matching for 4 turns. So that is not good. That is going to absolutely suck. So there are definite ways you can get around that easily get around that. So let's go ahead and get into that. So this is the first team I have here. Now, of course, if you've got your own legend kid, you can just use him if you want. You could legit just do this, right? If you've got your own legend kid, just do this, replace Jinbei with another legend kid, and you're pretty much good to go, but this is what I'm doing here. We've got Luffy Law as the captain, so this is like in a situation if you don't own your own legend kid. Now, this Hachan is going to be a free-to-play unit that's going to be available on Extra Island, and his special ability is pretty good. In a KIZUNA Clash, he actually reduces 4 turns of threshold, which is going to help us a lot in stage 2, getting rid of the threshold on the mini-boss Jinbei, of course. Then we also have Garb, who removes the special bind as well as gives us a chain lock, so he's like the perfect unit to bring here. A lot of people were saying, oh, you could bring the treasure map Rebecca and Viola because they remove special bind and they also are a chain locker, but the problem is their crewmate effect only resists 3 turns of special bind, not 5, so that makes things a little difficult to use them. We've got Jinbei here just as a filler unit. You could use him on stage 2 if you want, just for an attack boost. And then we've also got Judge for his amazing color affinity boost for our Dex team. And then Luffy Law, of course, for their amazing orb boost. So across the board, pretty straightforward. We are using the shark ship as well. If you have the shark ship, make sure to use it because the multiplier that you get from it is very, very good. It's not the greatest team ever, but it gets the job done. And then this is another team as well where we are utilizing very, very similar units, but we're using Shanks crew as the captain instead. So this means that we're not using Garp. So we have the captain of Shanks crew, which completely resists the special, well, not completely gets rid of it, but resists 10 turns of special bind, which means that we don't need to bring a unit to remove that. So we can just use Shanks crew as our dedicated special chain lock unit. And then we've got attack boost, orb boost. We have the color affinity, and everything else is the same. Remember, Jinbei is a boosted unit in this Kizuna, so he actually gets like double stats. So he's going to be hitting a lot harder. This is without the map effect either, so just count up, Jinbei will have actually enhanced damage. So he's going to do like 66 million instead of 33, so it's going to add a pretty decent chunk of damage to your team. But of course, you can use double kit if you want, and then change some units around, just depending on the situation, of course. So it's pretty straightforward, I guess, but I think Kid is going to be one of your best units here, because remember, later on down the line, he's going to go ahead and make all your type slots count as badly matching. So by utilizing a friend captain Kid, at the very least, you can just utilize bomb slots instead of type slots, so it makes a big difference just by doing that. So that being said, let's move on to the final one. So the final boss is against a strength variation. On this stage, you want to be bringing Driven, Free Spirit, and Cerebral units. Those are the ones to get the cooldown there. I mean, just straight off the cuff, definitely Legend Smoker or Legend Sugar. Those two characters are both Driven or Cerebral, so it's perfect to just bring them. The quick super types make sense. Now, stage 2 is Boa. She's a strength unit, has a 4-turn, 2-hit quick barrier. So quick slots you need, and then 4 turns of % damage reduction as well, and on turn 2 changes orbs into badly matching. Okay, you don't have to worry about that too much. If you're killing her in 1 turn, doesn't make a big difference. And then the final boss, Buggy, he actually doesn't do too much. He has full immunity, so you can't bring a conditional booster depending on your situation. He has normal attacks only, and he gives you all empty orbs and paralyzes your middle and bottom row for 4 turns. So again, Legend Sugar is great, because remember, when she turns the characters into toy soldiers, they can actually hit through paralysis or bind or whatever. So you don't actually have to worry about it too much if you are deciding to bring Legend Sugar. After turn 1, your middle row gets stunned, and at a certain threshold of HP, he's going to start despairing you for 8 turns. So you have to bring a pretty decent despair remover at that point in time. So that really does suck. So let's go ahead and have a look at some team compositions here. This one, utilizing Legend Sugar as a friend captain, again using the shark ship. If you can use it, you really should be using it in Kizuna. It gives you a really high multiplier. But in this team here, we've obviously got the orb boost of Sugar and also Luffy Law, but Luffy Law's orb boost is a lot higher, so you want to be using their orb boost a lot of the time. There's really no reason to use the Sugar super type special here. I mean, you want it to so you can get the enhanced color affinity, but you want to be using the Luffy Law special before that, of course. We've got Bobbin to get rid of the Rainbow Shield on stage 2, and he also gives us some surrounding slots, so if we need to get through the barrier, it's a lot easier to do that. Now, on this team as well, we want to be using the YT Bay support attached to Okiku, so that her special ability, when you use double special activation, removes 2 turns of Bind and Despair, and then with the support effect of Whitey Bay, it will remove that 5th turn, so it makes a big difference there. Sober Mask, you want to be using him. The very first special you want to use on the final stage is definitely Sober Mask, so you can get his special to launch twice in the same turn to get the 2.5 times attack boost. Then we've also got Caesar Clown, just to give us some chain boosting mechanics as well. But remember that because we have Sugar to turn everyone into toy soldiers, we don't have to worry about the paralysis at all, and it does make it a bit easier to build the team, of course. 185 million across the board. It's not too bad. It's a pretty good team, just generic good team. But here's another one here with Legend Smoker this time. Obviously not as good. You do have to bring a unit to remove paralysis this time. Now with this team, there actually is going to be another key support unit you want to be using, and you want to be using Colosseum Opera on Bullet, because whenever you use a damaging or health cutting special, it will go ahead and remove some despair for you, and then the Pudding removes all the turns of paralysis and also 4 turns of the despair. So with the support effect and Pudding, all the despair and all the paralysis will be removed. We've got, Bobbin once again for the stage 2, and then we've got Shanks crew for his chain lock. Remember, Bullet also gives color affinity, and then with the double smoker, we can get the 3 turns of 2.5 attack, 2.5 orb boost, and it's pretty strong. 144 million. I would have thought it would have been a bit more, but either way, it's not terrible. Not too bad at all. 144 million. Obviously, this team is a little bit more powerful, but depends on what kind of characters you have in your character box, of course, and you don't have to run all of these units if you don't want to. This is another one that I was trying out as well, just a double Sober Mask team, and I'm actually kind of surprised. It's in terms of damage, it's nowhere near as some of the other ones that I would have expected. Depending on the team, you could also do something like this, and then have like your super typing activate if you've got Smoker or something like that. Then you could use, like, again, the support effect with Opera on this guy. I mean, that's also another way that you could go about it. It's not, I mean, it's slightly higher damage, but I mean, if you've got your own Legend Smoker, you might as well just run this, because it gives you more damage output. But the really cool thing about using double the double Sober Mask, it does mean that you can use their captain action on stage 2 to bypass the barriers and bypass the rainbow shield, so you don't have to bring units to remove the rainbow shield. And then you can just by them being invisible, they actually resist the despair that gets inflicted on the final stage at a certain threshold of health on the enemy. So you don't even have to bring a despair remover, but you still need a unit to remove the paralysis either way you look at it. But either way, that's the rundown of some different teams for the versus strength variation and all of the different KIZUNA Clash bosses. I'm not really 100% solidified on what teams I'm going to be personally using yet. Of course, I'm going to be uploading some teams when the official KIZUNA Clash goes live, and I think I'll be live streaming when the KIZUNA Clash goes live as well. But really big shout out to Pyroman for providing this infographic so we can just see what all the bosses do very, very simply. So that's going to wrap up this video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.